In our Australian arid climate, when we have a very dry summer, the amount of sole and bar that need to be removed is quite often impossible to remove without the aid of a sole chisel and a hammer, and even then sometimes it's detrimental to the horse's comfort to expect to be able to hammer this sole out. There's usually a discarded car inner tube in the shed, and if you cut a piece of car tube about 2 feet long and holding the hoof up, slide the car tube down over the hoof to about the fetlock joint area, and then wrap the car tube which is left under the hoof and back up the back of the leg and stand the leg on the ground. Put about 2 cupfuls of water in the loose ends of the car tube and tape it to the pastern. You've now effectively got a very sealed up, very soft water boot. And I've found in many cases this has been the answer to the resolution of being able to trim a hoof properly by being able to prepare the sole properly, even when it was impossibly hard. Left overnight or just for a couple of hours, these water boots seem to work wonders. In a white hoof, you will often notice red bruising halfway up the hoof wall, either in the toe or in the sidewall. This bruising is caused by flares, which causes the hoof wall to stretch away from the laminate, and this results in subsurface bleeding under the hoof wall. It is unfortunate that the same bruising is not visible in the black hoof, as it is a quick indicator of trimming problems. The bruising will be there, but it won't be obvious. In my opinion, the single most common cause of lameness in our equine industry today is the presence of flares anywhere in the hoof. The failure to understand and address this has led to a multitude of ongoing lameness problems. Less than 1% of horses' hooves have genuine hoof deformities. Lack of understanding in what is the normal hoof shape is the biggest problem. If we can just look at the hairline shape of the coronary band and realise that the bottom or ground surface of the hoof should be the same shape, then it will help when trimming to reduce the flaring. The white line in the bottom of the hoof is usually the correct shape. Take the time to assess the hoof correctly and don't allow flares to take hold. Ultimately, they'll let you down and let your horse down. Seedy toe is not a mysterious and unknown ailment. It never fails to amaze me how seedy toe can be seen so consistently by horse owners as a symbol of impending doom and disaster when it can be cured simply. It also never fails to amaze me that so many farriers just ignore seedy toe. Invariably the horse owner will say, "Oh, the farrier said not to worry about that, but it is getting worse." I'm consistently contacted at least 4 to 6 months after the seedy toe should have first been identified by the farrier. Seedy toe or white line disease is a microscopic bug infection which enters this area of the hoof via cracks, injuries or separation of the hoof wall, and regenerates very quickly in a non-oxygenated environment. Treatment of seedy toe is simple. It requires the hoof wall to be pared away to expose the affected areas to the air, thus causing the infection to die. I found it's unnecessary to use disinfectant or iodine, as simply exposing it to the air was very effective. Left untreated, seedy toe will progress and will eventually destroy the complete hoof capsule. I always say that one abscess indicates there's a problem, and 2 abscesses means something has been missed and not corrected, while recurring abscesses should ring a warning bell that the hoof wall is distorting and causing separation of the laminae. In other words, flaring out of control. Any abscess needs not only symptomatic relief, but correct diagnosis of the cause of that abscess.